China now wields the most significant naval force globally, and aircraft carriers are the core vessels of any major fleet's power. To maintain the world's power, it is crucial to consider these factors when aiming to be the world's most powerful. The Chinese surge of power and rivalry with the current world power, the United States, has fueled China's ambitions for military supremacy to the core. They seem closer to achieving their primary goal. China is testing its most expensive aircraft carrier to aim 1 inch closer to that goal. What kind of new aircraft carrier is this? What capabilities does it possess? What makes this $9.3 billion aircraft unique? Make sure to stick around as we explore the powers of the Chinese new aircraft carrier. Liaoning. Plan's first surface force carrier is the Liaoning, a Chinese Type 001 aircraft carrier deployed in 2012. The force was renamed the Varyag in 1990. It was initially designed for the Soviet Navy as a large aircraft carrying cruiser. In 1998, a Chinese tourism operator bought the incomplete hull, and 3 years later, the ship was towed from Ukraine to China, where it underwent significant hull, radar, and electronics modernization. The Liaoning's air wings mark a substantial step forward in aerial capabilities for the plan, although it has some limitations like the carrier itself. The aircraft on board the Liaoning is capable and modern, although they are primarily limited by its aircraft launching mechanism. The carrier air wing includes 24 Shenyang J-15 fighters, 6 Changhe Z-18F anti-submarine warfare helicopters, 4 Changhe Z-18J airborne early warning helicopters, and 2 Harbin Z-9C rescue helicopters. The combination of aircraft is in keeping with the Soviet aircraft carrier doctrine, which calls for supporting nuclear submarines, big surface combatants, and land-based attack bombers to be supported by aircraft carriers. The Chinese Liaoning Air Force suffers from a lack of manpower, training, and experience compared to other countries. In November 2012, Chinese carrier pilots began training aboard the ship, and the plan qualified its first air wing of domestically trained J-15 pilots in 2015. Shandong. 5 years after commissioning its first aircraft carrier, the Liaoning, China launched its second carrier, the Shandong, on April 26, 2017. Unlike its Soviet-built predecessor, the Shandong is China's first domestically built carrier. Both carriers are similar in size and use a stow bar system for the launch and recovery of the aircraft. Although similar to the Liaoning, the Shandong features some visible enhancements, and it represents a significant step in China's development and manufacturing of aircraft carrier programs. The Shandong was commissioned in the People's Liberation Army Navy on December 17, 2009 in Sanya on the island province of Hainan. Before being commissioned, the Shandong underwent 9 sea trials over the course of 18 months. By comparison, the Liaoning completed 10 sea trials in 13 months before being commissioned in December 2012. During construction and sea trials, the Shandong was known as the Type 001A. However, the December 29th commissioning ceremony indicated that it is officially designated as Type 002. Significantly, the Shandong Island is approximately 10% smaller than the Liaoning Island, allowing for more deck space. It substitutes about 66,000 to 70,000 tons, a few thousand more tons than the Liaoning. It features the advanced Type 346 S-band AESA radar system. Its air wing is expected to be slightly more massive than the Liaoning, equipped with around 8 additional aircraft. The Shandong is limited to 6 days by sea before refueling, similar to the Liaoning. It was reported to have undergone back-to-back sea trials in early August 2019, suggesting that the vessel experienced technical difficulties during trials. Type 003. According to a report recently published by Taiwan's Ministry of National Defense, the Type 003, China's first modern aircraft carrier, will enable the People's Liberation Army Navy to project power past the First Island Chain. The First Island Chain refers to the first major archipelago stretching from the East Asian mainland, stretching from the Kamchatka Peninsula in the southwest, including the United States' interest in allies such as Taiwan and the Philippines. China's new aircraft carrier is expected to be fully operational by 2025 and would be designed and equipped with the advanced electronic warfare devices and a modern catapult system. While this advancement represents a significant technological leap for Beijing, some experts who spoke with Military Times did not believe its development would distract from U.S. operations in the Pacific Ocean. A senior fellow at the Foundation of Defense for Democracies, Mark Montgomery, stated that this carrier will most certainly impact planned maritime capabilities vis-a-vis its East and South Asian neighbors by the end of this decade, but it will not significantly impact the United States warfighting capabilities in the Western Pacific. According to multiple experts who spoke to the Military Times, a significant capability showcased or equipped in Type 003, which isn't present in Beijing's other two carriers, is the catapult-assisted takeoff but arrested recovery system used to launch and recover the aircraft. According to Matthew P. Finoli, Senior Fellow, China Power Project, and Senior Fellow for Data Analysis at the Center for Strategic Studies and International Studies. Currently, China operates two carriers that use STOBAR, or short takeoff but arrested recovery. This system utilizes a deck that utilizes a ski jump to assist aircraft during takeoff rather than a catapult. While STOBAR is a cheaper system to build and operate, there are significant drawbacks to STOBAR. These include weight inclusions that impact the payload size of aircraft and restrictions on what kinds of aircraft can launch via STOBAR. Craig Singleton, an adjunct fellow at the Foundation for Defense of Democracies, told the Military Times, the increased size of the 003, paired with a greatly improved launch system when compared to its predecessors, also opens the door to a larger and more diverse carrier air wing down the road. While it is known that Type 003 is cooperating with a state-of-the-art launch and recovery system, it is anticipated that Beijing will equip the carrier with advanced electronic warfare capabilities. However, due to the speed at which technology advances, this suite's full scope and effectiveness will probably not be evident until the ship sets sail. While the Type 003 boasts significant new EW technology, according to Finoli, much of it remains untested. It isn't easy to ascertain how effective it may be. However, according to Taiwan News, China emphasized expanded hard kill and soft kill EW inventories for the new carrier. According to Singleton, EW hard kill weapons usually involve a blast or fragmentation that destroys an incoming warhead. Conversely, soft kill EW relies on jamming and potentially microwaves to disrupt incoming missiles. What makes soft kill EW capabilities like these interesting is that they allow for the destruction, interception, and jamming of approaching enemy missiles, drones, etc. at a much lower cost than firing an interceptor missile, Singleton said. He also added that since Type 003 is not anticipated to be fully operational until 2025, it's challenging to ascertain precisely what and how effective these kinds of systems will be. Although Type 003 represents a major technological development for the PLA and Beijing anticipates increasing Beijing's ability to project power, they do not visualize it significantly shifting the balance of power in the Pacific. It is critical to remember that China is still new to carrier operations, and the Type 003 will be its first modern carrier, Finoli said. Additionally, China needs time to train pilots and integrate carrier operations into its fleet fully. China's entrance into carrier operations is recent. At the same time, the United States has decades of experience in developing carrier doctrine during peacetime and considerable experience in conducting carrier operations during wartime. United States pilots, operators, and engineers are the best in the world. The human element cannot be understated. An aircraft carrier is a tool whose effectiveness depends on those who wield it. China is still finding its way in terms of carrier operations. Finoli concludes that the U.S. has the advantage of leaning on generations of acquired and institutional knowledge. The massive ships are essentially mobile air bases, allowing for the rapid, long-term deployment of aircraft carriers and weaponry to a combat theater. But their value isn't solely in terms of combat capabilities, they also have great worth in terms of diplomatic prestige and power projectiles. China wants to have a world-class navy, and it wants to signal to the world that it has a world-class navy, and it wants to try to convince nations around the region and all around the world that it is on par with the United States. What do you think about China's constant gaze for the approval of the whole world as a real-world power? Where do you see China with its ambitions 10 years from now? Remember to drop your thoughts about all this in the comment section below. Don't forget to subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video.